Hey all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I believe I'm going to be starting a new series here on my channel, and you're going to have to let me know in the comments down below or by giving this a thumbs up or whatever if you like this, if you like the concept, if you like the idea. But as you may or may not know, I am 100% back on my low buy, which has essentially become a no buy at this point. I'm not trying to stick to any specific rules or saying like you can only spend this much per month or you can only, use this or whatever. I'm not trying to stick to any rules, okay? Basically, I have let myself say like, okay, if something really intrigues me, I can bring it into my collection, or if I completely run out of something and I want to repurchase, whatever, that's fine. But at the same time, like, I just don't feel the need to purchase makeup or skincare right now. And maybe that's just a phase I'm going through, but I'm sticking to that phase right now, okay? So what I've really been loving about this, and I loved the last time that I was on a more strict low buy, is that I've been just rediscovering my collection and playing with my collection and just really enjoying what I already have and getting rid of the stuff that no longer serves me. So this is not a declutter. I'm not going to be decluttering, but what I want to do is take each video to show you pieces of my collection that I love. And maybe it'll either inspire you to look at other things that you have in your collection, or maybe it will inspire you to say, hey, I don't have a fluorescent neon green lipstick in my collection and I need that one. Spoiler alert, I do not own any fluorescent neon green lipsticks. I'm sorry, I know that's a spoiler. But I just really want to show you my collection, but also to sort of help me reappreciate my collection as well. But today, what I want to start off with are highlighters. Highlighter to this day, like I feel like I'm stuck in like 2016 because highlighters to this day make me exceedingly happy. I feel like they're some of my favorite like makeup items to own. So I do have like a decent amount, but I've seen people who have like hundreds of highlighters. This is not one of those videos, but I do have like a decent collection that I really love. Now, does this mean I'm not going to eventually declutter some of these? No, some of these are definitely going to go in the future, but like, I just love the way a highlighter makes me feel. I feel like it brings everything together. I feel like it looks just good. You're gonna have to forgive me if the sound keeps bouncing all over the place. My microphone is being a little weird, but what I'm gonna be doing is taking you into my plant room, my sunroom. It's where I get a really good amount of natural light, and I just wanna do swatches and show you everything and talk to you about why I like it or when I use it or things like that. I just kind of wanna play. It's just makeup playtime. So if you like it, I do hope you'll consider subscribing, but let's go ahead and get into these swatches. So this is my whole highlighter collection as of right now, and honestly, like, it's so funny. I thought I had even a bigger collection than this. And looking at this though, I know that this is a large collection, but at the same time, in my head, I guess I just thought it was so much more than this, but we are going to go over everything. We've got everything from colorful highlighters to very neutral ones. We've got cream highlighters, we've got powder highlighters, we've got discontinued highlighters. So nobody get on me for that. I'll link as many of these as I can, but just this collection does make me happy. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I feel like it's not a bad idea to start with these cream highlighters, mainly because when I do swatches, these are going to be the most difficult to get off. But I do have 5 different cream liquid highlighters. Now, they're not all very creamy and everything like that. You know, some of them are more balmy, some of them are more liquidy, but let's go over them. And let's start over here. So I've talked about this in a recent video, but this is the Melt Sex Foil, and this shade is Stargazer. You can see it's a really pretty peachy pink shade, and just, it's so beautiful. This is definitely way too much, but you'll really be able to see the shimmer, and you can see how far it spreads out. This makes for a fantastic body highlighter and face highlighter and just everything in between. Like, the glow it gives is just like, it almost looks very natural in that it just makes your skin look luminous and almost fake. It makes your skin look fake, but these are so highly underrated, and I just think that they're so beautiful And just, oh my gosh, I always forget about how much I like this until I use it again, and then I fall right back in love. I do agree that this has a more golden tone to it. That's this specific shade, but just look at the way it catches the light. I feel like that's so unique. Now I'm hoping that the rest of these I can all do on one arm. So let's go ahead. So this one, I will admit I forgot about it completely. This was like found in the back of my drawer, and this is the Flower Beauty Spotlight Liquid Highlighter. Now this is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Wands. I don't know that this is a dupe. I don't know how much I even fully believe in dupes. I just know that I really do like this one, and I think it was underrated. So it does have one of those puff balls at the top, and you twist and you squeeze it out. But I found that usually, yeah, I don't know if you can tell, like it usually like hangs out pretty well where I don't have to squeeze it every single time. But this one in particular, and this shade is called Opal, is a pink tone. There definitely is a pink tone to it. And this one is not as, what's the phrase, natural looking as the Melt Sex Foil. This one's still very, very pretty. I like this one for layering other highlighters over it. I do feel like this one has a bit more glitter in it and can hold on to skin texture a bit more, but it's still very pretty. Now these never get talked about. So these are the Ofra liquid highlighters, and this shade is Monroe. I really liked this. I really did, but for a similar reason that I like the Sex Foil, I prefer this as more of a body highlighter because it can be intense and it is definitely more liquidy than it is creamy. So I'm going to see if I can squirt out the smallest amount of this one possible. What's interesting about this is when it's squirted out, it almost looks like a foundation, but it is very light and almost serum-like in texture, which is very nice. Now, did this go bad? Did I just squirt? You know what? I think I need to shake it. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to wipe off all swatches. I don't know if you can tell, but there is some separation in there. I think if I shake it, I will get a much better swatch. What's happening here? Why am I just getting like oil and no highlighter? Maybe the bottle has to be more upright? Well, you know what? Maybe this is why we do videos like this. Guys, maybe this has gone bad. I think that this highlighter has actually gone bad. I don't know. I want to try it again at another time. I want to let this settle and see how it does because this was such a beautiful highlighter. So I'm kind of confused by this, but this might be going in the next declutter. So the Glossier Halo Scope, you either love this or you hate it. I have a love-hate with it. I feel like this does have a tendency, so it is a stick form and it is more balmy in texture. Like I feel like this almost feels like a lip balm. The shade that I have is Quartz. And ever so often, I feel like this can lift some of your makeup, but if you do it more gently, the way I like to do it is I like to gently drag it across the skin, and then I just pat it in to blend. This is one of those that I feel like looks very, very natural. Again, I'm gonna really cover a larger area so you can really see it, but like it looks very natural and it catches the light beautifully. Look at the way that just catches the shimmer, but it's not a streak at all. This feels fantastic on the skin, but I also really love this one for layering. If you layer a powder on top of this, it's next level. This is one that I really do like. I really do like. Again, it looks very natural. It looks very just glowy. And finally, we have a ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter. This is in Lunch Money. I always look at this and I go, okay, I'm definitely decluttering this. And then I use it again and I love it, but it's one that I just don't think about as much for some reason. So this shade, like so many of my other highlighters, is just a pretty champagne beige. You can see where it catches the light. And this has a more like creamy, not quite moussey. No, I'm going to call it moussey because it sort of gives a little bit when you press into it. You can see the fingerprint indentations. But this glow is just very, very pretty. Again, as with a lot of my cream highlighters, I prefer to pounce these into the skin rather than drag it on because I feel like that will help it so that the makeup under it doesn't move. And if you can see, this again is one of those that makes the skin, this is why I love cream highlighters. It makes the skin look almost plastic because it gets that shine to it. And these are so good for layering powder over top of it. Now, I will say for me, it's so hard to tell, but this does have a tiny bit of micro glitter in it, I find, which I don't love, but it's not bad in this case. It's really pretty for layering over, but I do go back and forth. Let me know, how do you like the ColourPop Super Shock highlighters? Are they a favorite of yours, or do you pass on them? But yeah, so that is my entire cream highlight collection. So here is my collection of Kaleidos highlighters. I feel like this is a good one to do where I'm going to just do swatches all the way down my arm. These are all powder highlighters, and these were sent to me in PR, and I'm so thankful because they are so unique to my collection. Each one very much has a different color hue. These are not all champagne gold, which is what I have a tendency to continuously go for. These are all different colors, and they suit colorful looks very well for me. Now, of course, you can use these for any look, but for me, it's all about the color. And yes, I still keep these in the packaging. I guess I should take them out of the boxes. Okay, so here are all 8, and also these are in tins, which I think is very cool. I love how the outside packaging looks on these. And also each one of these comes with a protective little piece of plastic that I do keep in there just to make sure I'm keeping the shape, because it sort of keeps these pressed down. But let me open them all for you so you can see them side by side now. So as you can clearly see, these all do have very different tones. There's a lot of blue tones in here. There's a lot of gold tones in here. There's just such different varieties, and I think that that is so cool. So we are going to go ahead and I'm going to swatch these. Now, let me show you the order that I'm going to swatch them in. Tried to keep them all in one shot, but I'm going to go from here all the way down to there, and we are just going to look at these swatches all together. Y'all, look how beautiful these all are. They are so finely milled, which is one of my favorite parts. They're so finely milled and they just blend right into the skin. Now, there is glitter in these. There definitely is a sense of glitter in them, but it's not so overwhelming that it's going to look chunky on your face. Oh my gosh, I can never decide which is my favorite. So I will say that I do think Ray Rider, which is right here, is kind of the most natural looking, if you will. Like, it's a little more subdued, not as much glitter in this one at all, but still absolutely beautiful. But this shade in Gifted, which is right here, it's pink, it's green, it's gold, it shifts so beautifully. I think that one is my absolute favorite, but every time I look at these, I'm blown away by the quality. I feel like not enough people talk about Kaleidos highlighters, and that's probably because they do look intimidating. They're all different colors, but God, they're beautiful. So I feel like next I want to talk about my 4 Unearthly Cosmetics highlighters. These again are definitely colorful. These are more colorful highlighters. Some of these are definitely a bit more glittery than others, but I do have 4 shades. Let's take them out of the packaging. Oh no! So here are all 4. As you can see, this one, Inspector, broke, and I'm so sad because this, I think, was my favorite one of my favorite ones. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Okay, deep breaths. So again, I would like to swatch these. Right now, it probably looks like 4 shades of white, but I'm hoping that you can see in the light, like the subtleties in here. But let's look at swatches. I'm going to go this way again. Look at these. And yes, I was right. Spectre's my favorite. It is that vibrant, vibrant purple. These are just so gorgeous. Now, I will say, I think Twilight is my least favorite. That's the one that's down here because it is very glittery, whereas these others are so finely pressed and they just are so smooth on the skin. Like, even if you don't wear something like this as a highlighter, these just make such amazing eyeshadows or just anything. Like, look at the shift on this color. Like, it almost disappears in the right light. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, and that one is spellbinding. That's one of those kind of green shifty pink colors that I absolutely love so much. Oh my God. I'm so sad about this. Have you all ever tried repressing one of these? Because I'm nervous, but I need to save it. So I only have 2 highlighters by Sigma. I don't know why I'm doing this by brand. The next one is definitely going to be a sort of mishmash, but I have 2 by Sigma, so I figured we'd show these together. Oh gosh, these are so pretty. Now the shades that I have are Savannah and Golden Hour. Golden Hour, I will be honest, I usually use this as more of an eyeshadow because it is a bit of a deeper shade, if you can see. It's a little bit just more golden and sort of has a tendency to look like a stripe on my skin tone, but I'm going to show you both. Oh, I don't exactly know when we stop filming, but again, Golden Hour, you can see it's made for somebody with a much deeper skin tone than I have. It's just very, very bronzed. It looks good, you know, just as an eyeshadow for me. But Savannah I actually wear, and it looks so good with a bronzy look. It definitely still has gold undertones, but the quality of these is really, really beautiful. It takes a very little swipe, and I usually use a brush similar to this, something very fluffy, and I just have a tendency to buff it in, and it just makes it look so beautiful and so natural, but still picks up that light. I really love these, and I need to use this as an eyeshadow more because how regal and stunning is that color. Like, look at the way that that catches the light, even when it's not focused. So these are some more random highlighters and small palettes and things like that, but let's take a look. I'm going to take them all right out of the packaging. So as you may or may not be able to tell, these individual ones, I know a lot of them look like the same tones, but these are my most used highlighters. They really are. Every one of these is dependable, is smooth, is finely milled, and really suits my skin tone. So let me show you kind of one by one. You know what? Maybe we'll start with this palette. So this is by Ofra. This is the Snowed In palette. No, this is, I'm sorry, this is the Signature Highlighting palette. The Signature Highlighting palette. I don't know if maybe this mix of shades is what's called Snowed In, but I love that they give you this option, that these are only about the size of a US quarter, so you don't feel like you're wasting a whole lot of product, because sometimes with something like this, even though I've hit significant pan, they're hard to get through. So I love things like this that just let you kind of sample. I have to say, Ofra has been known for their highlighters for a reason. They got this formula down pat to just make these look so beautifully seamless on the skin that they are just, oh my God, they just make you look like you're actually glowing. It's so beautiful too. This palette, for me, some of the shades act more as a blush rather than a highlighter, and then some of them are pure highlighters, but I love having this option to use whatever I want, like to have it all in one palette. It just feels very convenient to me. It's so pretty. Look how pretty that is. Now, because the palette's out of the way, the rest of these I'm just going to swatch as is. So I am going to move the palette to the side, and let's see. This is the order the swatches will be in. So this might be the makeup addict in me talking, but I love how I said these were all so similar. And then when I put them on my arm, they all look so different to me. Whereas to some people, they might look exactly the same, but I just love these. So to start with, we have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy. Now this was one of those that went absolutely viral for a long time, and you unfortunately can't get it anymore. Of course, as always, I'll see if I can find these like on Poshmark for you or whatever, but I love that this is a pure gold. There is no other way to describe that, just gold. It's very regal, very finely milled. Again, I just love it. This one right here, which is the second one there, is the Ofra and Samantha March Start Inspired. And what's really cool about this, again, you've got that pink and you've got the gold, so you can choose to do those by themselves, but I have always mixed them and they come out this beautiful frosty golden pink. And I feel like it looks quite white on screen right now, but it really is just a stunning, beautiful color. Then we've got the Nabla Skin Glazing in the color Privilege. This is more of a pinky highlighter. I like to use this as a blush topper. I feel like it looks really pretty and really makes it just shimmer. I don't know, that's so beautiful to me. And then this fourth tone, again, discontinued, best packaging that there's ever been. This is the Dose of Colors Desi and Katie collection, and this is Fuego. And gosh, it's just so bronzy and golden. This, you know, when it's the winter time, this is too deep for my skin tone, and I do just wear this as an eyeshadow. But during the summer, it's so beautiful with a bronzy look. I just love it. And then finally, at the top, right up here, we've got the Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop. This is old as sin. You can tell, like, I'm almost finished with this. Like, I've hit significant pan, and all right in the center is gonna crumble. But it's my favorite highlighter of all time. It's just beautiful. Okay, so I am going to show this one because it is in my collection. So this is the Viva Shine Multi-Highlighter Trio by Kaja. No one can deny that this is the cutest packaging that there ever has been. So there are 3 different highlighters. This first one is just straight glitter. It's not a highlighter to me. It's very gritty and it's just glitter. This second one has these like white pearls in it. It's so strange. Like it almost looks like mold. It's not. And again, it's just like, it's very, very chunky, glittery. No. And finally, we have this beautiful marbled one that does make for a pretty highlighter. But I don't want to necessarily keep this whole palette just for that. This is probably going to be something I'm going to give away to a friend. But I don't know. I feel like I keep wanting to try it for just like a minute more. I just peel the sticker off the bottom. So I don't know. Maybe I'll continue to give it a shot. I do want to show it, but that's kind of all you're getting for swatches of this one. And then finally, we have my 4 highlighter palettes. These are all so different from each other, and I feel like I need to explain all of these. Well, this doesn't need explaining. So this is I never know if it's called the Glow Up palette. So on the front, it says, oh for Glow Up. On the back, it says All Glowed Up. So I'll find it and I will definitely link it for you. But I, again, love that you have the selection of all of these different highlighters to use for whatever you want to. So this, always when it's these kind of things, I personally like to swirl it and use all the colors, but you don't have to. So as I hope you can see, these are all different shades. So it's really good to have them all in your collection. I'm happy to have them all in my collection. And with all Ofra highlighters, these are just finely milled and they just make your skin glow. Oh gosh, I love this palette. I love it. I've talked about this palette so many times and just, I don't know, a lot of people just aren't as into it, but I love it. Let's go into my newest one. So this is the Unearthly and Heather Austin Resurgence palette. Look at how gorgeous these are. So I can't even capture the shifts in this shade properly. They're so, well, there you go. You can kind of see like the pinkish green in there. It catches the light in such cool ways. And so does this, where there are times where it looks, I'm trying to see if I can capture it. Yeah, you see how it's like gold in the mirror? It's gold and it's pink and it's so freaking cool. Now, I will say, full disclosure, I use this as a blush topper. I'll still show you a swatch, but this one I use as a highlighter. These are so incredibly shifty and beautiful, and I've used this so much more than I ever thought I would. Look at how gorgeous. Like this as a blush topper is probably my favorite blush topper that I have, and this highlighter just picks up the light so beautifully. Oh gosh, I feel like this was the sleeper hit of the collection. It's just, look at that, the light. Ugh. Another palette I consider to be a sleeper is this one. This is probably my oldest highlighter palette, and it's by KC Cosmetics. And you can see right in the pan, we have 6 different color highlighters. I love how clearly you can see the differences in this one. These are, again, like I've talked about this one so much in the past. These are so freaking cool when you think about using these for, you can use these of course for eyeshadow, but when you use these for different bright colorful looks to bring out the tones in the eyeshadow, it's just next level. And these are so creamy feeling. Like years later, I don't even know how long ago I bought this. I'm going to say this is probably like 2010. And yet they are so creamy and pigmented and just gorgeous. And last but not least, this is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop palette. The only color that's left in here is Champagne Pop, and I've used the heck out of it. This color, you know what, there's a little bit left here, I guess. Wow, there's quite a bit left. Whoa, 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 whoa. That would not be a highlighter for me, but how pretty is that as like just a bronzy color. Okay, anyway, I'm getting off track. I don't need to swatch Champagne Pop again because we've already swatched it, but this I kind of keep for sentimental purposes. This is one of my first like big makeup purchases and I love it. And there we have it, my entire highlighter collection. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed this. Honestly, I just love really appreciating what's in my collection. So I hope maybe this inspires you to go and play with your collection. And you know what? Maybe that means you're playing with 1 or 2 highlighters. Maybe it means you're playing with 90 highlighters, but just sit and play with your collection, preferably not in a really hot plant room, because oh my God, I'm sweating. But that's all. If you enjoyed this video, if you would like to see this as a series, please let me know down below. Interact with this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a comment, and that way I know it's something that you want to see. Thank you again for watching. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all GlitterFallout. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars, super freaking low-buy rock stars. And I love you so much with my whole heart, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.